The receipt lay on the table like a quiet accusation. Zero, not even a single coin. Just a blank space where hope usually lived. For Marisol Hayes, standing in the middle of a busy diner with the hum of clinking plates and the smell of coffee in the air, that empty line felt heavier than the entire shift she'd worked. She took a slow breath, steadying herself because this wasn't just about money. It was about another reminder that life rarely showed mercy to people already stretched thin. Before we go deeper into Marisol's story, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of doing the right thing, please take a moment to like this video, comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. And tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? Marisol was 27, a single mother doing her best to hold together a life that felt permanently one bill away from collapse. She worked double shifts at a classic roadside diner just outside Cedar Ridge, a town that lived somewhere between forgotten and overlooked. Her mornings began before sunrise, packing snacks and coloring books for her 4-year-old daughter, who spent the day with a kind neighbor, while Marisol poured coffee for strangers who rarely learned her name. She wore exhaustion like a second uniform, stitched invisibly into her apron. That afternoon had been especially long. The lunch rush blurred into late afternoon, and then came him, and everyone noticed the moment he walked in. He didn't announce himself, didn't demand attention, but something about his presence shifted the room. He wore a tailored coat, carried himself with quiet authority, and spoke politely but sparingly. His name, printed on the credit card slip later, was Grant Hollowell. A name Marisol didn't recognize, though many in the world did. A billionaire, though she wouldn't learn that until much later. Marisol treated him like she treated everyone else. She refilled his coffee before he asked, brought his meal exactly as ordered, and checked in once more than usual because something about his distant gaze made her worry he might need something. He nodded, thanked her softly, and ate in silence. When he finished, he placed his utensils neatly together, slid out of the booth, and left without another word. When Marisol returned to clear the table, she saw the receipt. Total paid, tip $0. Her chest tightened, not with anger, but with that familiar sinking feeling. She thought about the grocery list taped to her fridge at home, the school supplies needed, the rent due in 10 days. She swallowed hard, reminding herself that kindness wasn't transactional. She wiped the table carefully, stacking the plate, when something stopped her. The plate didn't move smoothly. It caught on something beneath it. Marisol lifted it again, slower this time, and saw a folded piece of paper tucked under the edge. Her name was written on it in careful handwriting. Just her first name, no flourish, no explanation. Her heart began to race, not with fear, but with curiosity that felt almost sacred. She waited until the rush quieted before opening it, hands trembling just enough to notice. Inside was a note, simple and unadorned. It spoke of observation, of noticing how she balanced a child's drawing tucked into her apron pocket, how she spoke gently to every customer, how she worked with dignity even when the day was unkind. It ended with a sentence that made her sit down in the booth, breath caught in her throat. This is not a tip, it's an opportunity. Tucked behind the note was a business card and a folded check. The number on it made her vision blur, not because it was extravagant, but because it was exactly what she needed. Enough to cover rent, childcare, and a little more. Enough to breathe again. But more than that, the card invited her to call. No obligation. No promises, just a door cracked open. Marisol went home that night and held her daughter a little longer than usual, listening to her chatter about the shapes she'd learned that day, feeling something unfamiliar bloom in her chest. Possibility. The next morning, after dropping off her daughter, Marisol sat in her car for nearly 20 minutes before dialing the number. When someone answered, they didn't rush her. They listened. Weeks passed. Then months. Marisol didn't quit her job right away. She learned that Grant Hollowell ran a foundation focused on small-town businesses and overlooked talent. He believed dignity came from work, not handouts. The note had been his way of testing something, not her obedience but her attention. Would she notice what others missed? She did. Through mentorship, training and resources she never imagined having access to, Marisol discovered she had a knack for organization and leadership. The diner owner noticed too, offering her more responsibility. Eventually, with guidance and a modest grant from the foundation, Marisol helped modernize the diner's operations, turning it into a community hub that hired other parents juggling work and family. Years later, Marisol stood in the same diner, now brighter, busier, and filled with laughter. Her daughter sat at the counter doing homework, safe and confident. Grant visited once a year, always sitting in the same booth, always leaving no tip, just a note. Each one reminded Marisol that the world doesn't always change loudly. Sometimes it changes quietly, under a plate, waiting for someone who's paying attention. If this story touched your heart even a little, please take a moment now to like this video, share it with someone who believes in kindness, and stay with us by subscribing to Kindness Corner. Your support helps stories like this reach people who need them. Before we end, we have a special request. Please comment below with one word that describes how this story made you feel and tell us where you're watching from. Your words matter more than you know, because sometimes what looks like nothing changes everything.